Welcome to your Yin practice. My name is Megan and I'll be your teacher. Please know that when you do a Yin practice, unlike a Vinyasa practice or a traditional Yang or Yang practice, we're really looking at the element of surrender. We're looking at that space where you can find your edge, where you can drop in and melt. So that should feel like some place you can stay, not necessarily the part of the pose where you want to come in and out. So let's all be in pursuit of that surrender today. I think we could all use a little bit more of that. You might want to have a couple of yoga blocks, or if you don't have yoga blocks, hardcover books work pretty well. Maybe also a pillow or a bolster, but if you don't have any props either, no worries. You can do this without props, traditional Yin style. So as you start to come onto your mat today, we will bring the bottoms of our feet together, knees opening out to the sides, and just rock from side to side for a moment. As you bring those butterfly wings of your legs open, just rocking on your sits bones for a second, and kind of finding the start of your breath, that flow of prana. As you come into stillness in this place, you may decide to bring a block underneath the left knee and the right knee, or omit those blocks entirely. Let your hands drop onto your feet, shoulders relaxed, ears back towards the shoulders. Close your eyes for just a moment. Inhale through your nose, exhale through your nose or mouth. Again, inhale through your nose, exhale through your nose or mouth. One more time. Inhale through your nose, exhale through your nose or mouth. We'll take an even breath here. Inhaling for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhaling for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhaling for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhaling for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhaling for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhaling for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax your thighs completely. With your eyes still closed or open, start to walk your hands forward. As you begin to feel the first stretch of your practice today, take your gaze inward. Whether your eyes are closed or soft, start to bring yourself back in your introvertedness, into the space inside your body. What does it feel like? If the blocks are in your way, you can remove them so that the knees drop down just a little lower. Or if you feel good support from the blocks, keep them in play. Perhaps you start to walk the elbows onto the feet, maybe even stacking your fist, resting your forehead. Or perhaps you draw your bolster or pillow close, as this is the very beginning of your practice. Maybe just resting arms or chest to the bolster for butterfly pose. Let your head relax, your feet, your knees, your forehead, relax. Your fingertips, your shoulders, the back of your head, relax. We'll find 5 more breaths right here. Remember, in your Yin practice, we're just taking easy breaths. It's not about a pose. It's just making a shape with the body, not forcing the breath or making it more muscular than it needs to be. Just letting the breath come and go. See if you could find your stillness here for these last 2 full breaths. And then from wherever your hands have been, slowly begin to walk the fingers back in, rising up slowly. Take your time reaching the outer edges of the knees or thighs and bringing the feet back in and onto the earth. Moving those blocks out of your way. Take your hands behind you and windshield wiper the legs from side to side, breaking up any tension that may have been there. We'll come back into that same sweet pose, a little fewer props this time. Bringing the bottoms of the feet in towards one another, we'll practice a little bit of a self-release here. So placing your hands to your inner thighs. As you inhale, press your thighs up into your hands and resist with your hands with equal pressure. Exhale, relax, but don't push down. Again, press up on the inhale, press hard, hard, hard. Relax, but don't push down. One more time. Press up on the inhale, and then relax, but don't push down. A little P and F stretch for yourself. Walking your hands forward, feeling the ghost of that stretch in the inner thighs. Maybe walking your hands out onto the bolster. You could also turn the bolster or your pillow and bring it onto your chest so that the bolster comes to the feet. Or if that's not quite in your practice today, turning your bolster up at an angle and placing your forehead on your stacked arms on the bolster. Come to the depth of your choice. Somewhere again you can stay and be in the work. Let your thighs melt. Let your feet relax. Your shins, your calf muscles relax. If you're finding your edge, you know that there's no pinching or piercing or pain, just an active stretch. Take 5 more breaths right here, making sure to come to your edge. So if you feel you want to fold your bolster down or your pillow and get a little deeper into the stretch, I encourage you to do so right here. Breathing for 4 full body breaths. Relax your shoulders, your jaw, your tongue, your teeth. And then from wherever you've been on that next inhale, prepare your body to start to work back out, taking your time, walking your way back up slowly, moving your props out of the way, bending that right and left knee in, sending your hands behind you and windshield wipering the legs from side to side. Stretching the legs all the way out in front, maybe taking a moment to bubble the backs of the knees, and perhaps even rolling up the back edge of your mat a few times so that you could work your sits bones onto that little height that is the ledge that the back of your mat provides. A little softness in the knees and widening the feet just a little, taking it into that caterpillar pose. As you exhale, walk the hands forward, rounding through the upper back. So unlike a traditional forward fold in your vinyasa class, we're relaxing through the feet, relaxing through the shoulders, dropping the chin down to the chest, and letting ourselves round down. Again, if you'd like to build up your blocks or your props in your lap, please take a moment to do so. If you'd like to let your hands rest to the outsides of the legs, or bring the legs a little closer together. Again, it's not about a specific pose, just about what shape your body is taking today. As you come into this space, create a long exhale, breathing out any tension in the back. As you find that rounding through the back, if you need support for your head, make stacked fists and rest your forehead so as not to stress through the neck. Again, finding that easy way of breathing. If you decided to go very quickly into the pose, if you went 150% and you feel you're already starting to want to back out just a little bit, coach yourself next time around to go easy, 60% of the way into the pose to start. Let your joints just acclimate to the pose, to the shape, to the breath. Then you can go a little deeper. We'll be here for 8 more breaths, feeling that rounding through the back, maybe walking the hands forward just a little more, or maybe you're exactly happy where you are right now. Again, if you'd like to take your blocks and place them underneath the forehead so that you have something to rest the neck. Taking that time to slow down. Taking those opportunities in your day just to reflect. How are you feeling? Relax your feet, your ankles, your thighs. On that next inhale, prepare yourself to start to walk back out. Take your time, slowly arriving back up in that seated position, taking your props out of your way if they've been there. Gently rolling the back of your mat back open as you scoot your hips forward, scooting all the way in towards your heels and reclining back onto your mat, drawing the knees in towards the chest. Take a little rock from side to side. Massaging out any sort of tension that's been in the back, whether it's from your yoga practice or from life. And as you find that little range of motion, maybe crossing one ankle over the other and stirring the knees around. Go one direction and then the other. And coming back to the center line, opening the feet out, perhaps grabbing the feet for your happy baby pose, or if reaching the hands to the feet is not accessible, wrapping the arms under the knees for your happy baby pose. And taking a moment to add that rock from side to side. Again, remember you can always roll a blanket or a towel underneath the middle of your back, going lengthwise if your spine doesn't rest comfortably on the floor. If you need that added channel along the back, take a moment here to set yourself up with those props that are necessary for your comfort. Coming back into that delicious happy baby, close your eyes, relax your shoulders, and just drop in. See if you could melt. Thighs drawing down towards the floor. Feet easy. Toes easy. Chest easy. Finding your edge here. Keep your breath sweet and soft. In and out. We'll find 8 more breaths right here. And again, if you found that you're more of a panda bear in your yin practice, maybe it's because of an injury you've had, or perhaps it's because you just don't want to get too close to your edge. Maybe you've been hesitant to come into the pose too deeply. In this moment, start to find that edge, that shimmering space where you can really feel the stretch a little more deeply. Maybe that's by just microscopically shifting something about the shape you're making. Maybe it's just the idea of giving yourself permission to go a little deeper, to feel a little more. Oftentimes, that fear resides in the body. Our past traumas locked away, creating that fear response when we feel that we're stretching too deeply, that we're tapping into those areas that we've hidden away. Again, no pinching, no piercing, no pain. But when you start to unlock one of those areas, maybe just catching a glimpse of that space, I encourage you in your practice today to go to that surrender place. Give in to yourself. Let go. Very slowly start to open your eyes. Maybe just rocking that happy baby from side to side for a moment. And bringing the knees back to the center line, slowly stepping the bottoms of the feet down to the mat. Open the arms out a comfortable distance away and just windshield wiper the legs from side to side to create some motion here. Go slow, observe, notice how you're feeling. And then rolling entirely onto your left side in your modified fetal position. Cradle your head with your arm. Let your shoulders stack, your hips stack. Notice how good it feels just to have that alignment. Honor yourself with one more deep breath. And then again, pressing your way back, this time into a tabletop position on your mat. Once you come into tabletop, inhale, flaring your tailbone back, dropping your belly down, sending your eye gaze to neutral. Exhale, tucking from the tailbone, rounding up along the spine, coming into your cat stretch. Feel your fingers press into the earth. Again, finding your way back through that cow, flaring the tailbone back, drop the belly down. Maybe send your eye gaze a little further up this time. Exhale, tucking the tailbone under, rounding along the spine, hugging that low belly in, coming into your cat stretch. Inhale to come back to that neutral tabletop position. Take your left foot back behind you, tuck the toes under, and press back into that calf muscle, zippering through the low belly for just a moment here. You might rock a little forward and back. And the next time you rock forward, start to spin that left foot to the outside of your left pinky finger. Again, you can bring your blocks into play if you'd like, right in front of you on the earth as we come into that first dragon variation. Walking the hands forward a little, tuck the back toes under, lift the back knee up and move that knee back just a little bit as you untuck the toes and bring the top of the foot down. Turning the left toes out towards that left edge of your mat. Maybe you stay right here, you feel your edge already. Perhaps you walk down to your elbows or your blocks. Again, maybe you make stacked fists and rest your forehead on top of your hands. Either way, make sure that if you have that turnout of the left foot, that it's feeling really comfortable, and maybe you're even rolling onto the outer edge of your left foot. If you feel your knee is starting to open, come to that outer edge, flex through the foot for a moment, and then relax into that shape, into that stretch. Give yourself that sense of surrender here. Low belly could stay a little tucked in just to support the lower back in this space, but coach yourself to slow your breathing down. Soften the space between your eyebrows, your jaw, your ears. Maybe close your eyes. Let the eyelids drape over the eyes. Feel your breath nice and full as that left hip opens out. The front of the right hip creates a little edge here. Feeling the back top of the foot on the mat, relaxing the toes, all 5 toes on your right foot relaxed. If you're feeling a little too much through the shoulders, again, bring yourself onto your bolster or your blocks. We'll find 5 more breaths right here. Dropping into your yin practice is a little like getting to know yourself in a mentally challenging practice. Physical, yes, but mental as well, emotional as well. So be kind to yourself. As you come into this practice, it's not about how hard, how fast, how deeply you can go. It's about how are you experiencing the edge of this pose. Direct a little more breath into that left hip. Direct a little more breath into the front of your right leg. And on that next inhale, prepare yourself to start to come out. Walking the left hand under the left shoulder and the right hand under the right shoulder. Slowly walking the hands back towards your right knee, elongate through that left leg, straightening out through the left leg, and then rebend the left leg as you walk your hands forward. Walking back towards your right knee, lengthen out the left leg, and then walk the hands forward once again. And as you circle that left knee back alongside the right knee, come into your tabletop position, wiggle the hips from side to side. Give yourself just a moment of release here. And take that right foot back and behind, tuck the toes, curl the fingers, press back into that right foot a few times. You could even walk the hands forward just a little bit. Maybe hold it in a static stretch back. Maybe you're rocking forward and back. Either way, the next time you come forward, just a little spin that right foot to the outside of the right pinky finger. It's okay to help it around with your hand. It's great to bring your blocks in front of you if you'd like as we come into dragon on the other side. Again, maybe tucking the back toes under, lift that back knee up and move that knee back. Be gentle with yourself. Untuck the toes, relaxing that left foot, winging the right foot out slightly to that right edge of the mat. And then, if it fits your practice, maybe walking down to those elbows or creating the stacked fists. If this right knee wants to turn out, flex through the foot a little, roll onto the outer edge of your right foot so that you're taking the joints into a comfortable alignment. Heart might yearn between the upper arms and then dropping in, noticing where your breath goes. Relax the toes on that left foot. And again, if you're more of a black knight and you came 150% into the pose to start with, and now you start to notice that you're having some challenges with staying where you are. Remember, come 60, 80% maybe into what your maximum is to start off. Then you can always go deeper without bouncing back out, without questioning, just finding that surrender space. Perhaps the unexpected edge is on the front of that left thigh. Make sure your left knee is comfortable. It could be on a blanket, could be on the rolled edge of your mat. Again, this right hip, sure, might take center stage, experiencing the big stretch of the pose. But taking that left hip and finding yourself to melt a little into the front of that hip. What would it feel like? Again, if you'd like to rest your head on something, stacked blocks, or perhaps your bolster works really well here. Start to feel your breath. When your mind is drawn away to other things, notice that that's completely natural, completely normal because you're human. And as a human, we all possess the monkey mind. So easy to hop from topic to topic. A little harder to sit with ourselves. To keep that singular focus. And in your yin practice, maybe that singular focus is the breath. Because even if you're not doing any sort of muscular breathing, your breath is getting you through. It's your strong, grounded point. Even as those physical sensations come and go. Remember that no matter how much edge you might have in this practice, it's all like the waves in the ocean. There's a certain rise and fall. We might feel like we're very desperate to get out of a shape, but we know it will end. We know it will come to a close. Take 4 more breaths right here. Feeling those edges, relaxing your shoulders, relaxing your left leg, relaxing your hands. your scalp, your throat. On the next inhale, prepare yourself to come back out. Take your time to walk the right hand under the right shoulder and the left hand under the left shoulder. And then slowly start to bend, pressing back, hands walking back towards your left knee as the right leg straightens out, and walking forward once again. Walking the hands back towards that left knee and walking back once again. As you straighten out through that right leg, maybe you notice those hamstrings a little more. Coming back forward once again, sweep that right leg around beside the left leg. Take a little shimmy of the hips. And then when you're ready, pull back into child's pose. Coming into your tabletop position, your hands and knees, curling your fingers on the mat, just a little inhale, flaring your tailbone back, dropping your belly down, send your eye gaze to neutral. Exhale, tuck from the tailbone, rounding up along the spine, tucking the chin between the shoulders, down towards the chest. And then coming back into that tabletop position, your hands and knees. As you exhale, widen the knees, bump the big toes together, and start to sink back into your child's pose. Now, this is a little bit more of a tadpole variation with the knees wide and the big toes bumping. Knees might even come to the outer edges of your mat as your forehead drops to the earth. You might, since this is your yin practice, take your hands and stack one on top of the other, resting your forehead on your stacked hands. Begin to breathe, nice full breaths. Inhaling and exhaling. Remembering that in this practice of Yin Yoga, you're taking yourself to the edge and you are your own coach. So even though I'm here with you today, you're the one executing every single shape that we're practicing. You know your body the best. You know what feels good and what is your edge. Take 2 more breaths in this wide knee, big toe bumping child's pose, this tadpole variation. And then gently curling back up. Hands work under the shoulders, knees work under the hips, coming to your tabletop. Take a big hip sway from side to side. Sinking your right hip over to the mat, swinging your legs around to the front edge. Take your right shin and fold it parallel to this short edge of your mat. Your left shin goes on top of your right shin as we come into square pose. Now, if you'd like, you can roll the edge of your mat up to sit high, or if you see any air appearing between the knee or the shin, you can place a block underneath. Coming into, sometimes it's called fire log or double pigeon pose. Drop your fingers down by your sides and roll your chin down to your chest. Take a moment to flex both feet, particularly if you have hypermobility in your ankles and your feet tend to sickle a little. As you come into this space, maybe your hands come onto that front shin and you feel a little cat-cow come into the back. Just taking that little cow-cat flexibility and coming back into that space. Fingers drop down by your sides, rolling your chin down to your chest. Relax your feet, relax your face. Soften your gaze and let yourself turn inward. Soften your jaw, let yourself breathe in a very relaxed pattern. Make the inner thighs very easy here. And slowly rolling that right ear over to the right shoulder. Find a pause in that neck stretch. Maybe you turn more the chin towards the shoulder than the ear, relaxing both shoulders away from the ears. And gently roll the chin down to the chest, rolling that left ear over to the left shoulder, finding that pause, maybe more chin towards shoulder than ear. Relaxing through the inner thighs, finding your breath in the hips, rolling the chin down to the chest. Gently stacking your head on top of your body. Take that right hand out just a little ways. Let that left arm drape up and over, and then just let it rest. Let it hang. Maybe hand comes behind the head, or maybe you just drop in right here. Breathing into that left side, keeping that left rib working slightly out, making that expansion. Inhale to come back to the center. Exhale to drop that left hand. Right arm reaches up and then just sort of dangles. No push, no pull, just surrender. Maybe as you close your eyes here, that gaze once again drops inward. Breathing, eye gaze going where it feels best to you, whether that's closed or open. Maybe the hand comes behind the head, and take 2 more breaths. And then coming back to the center line, take your time. Walking the fingers slightly out in front. Inhale, heart goes high. Exhale, press the hips back, relax the feet, relax the forehead. Softness in all the places you can bring it. Walking the fingers back in and maybe up onto the shin again or onto the inner thigh, sitting tall, closing your eyes, letting the chin roll down to the chest, drop the fingers down by your sides, and start to walk the fingers a comfortable distance away, really energizing out through the arms. Inhale to stack the head on top of the body. And as you exhale, slowly roll the chin down to the chest once again. Roll the right ear over to the right shoulder, find that pause. Rolling the chin down to the chest, roll the left ear over to the left shoulder. Chin comes back down to the chest. And stack your head gently on top of your body. Begin to release yourself from that square pose, reaching down and gathering the left leg out and the right leg out. Send your hands behind you and windshield wiper your legs from side to side. As you take that little windshield wiper, maybe you even roll onto the big muscles of the thighs and hips, giving them a good massage on your yoga mat. And then take that left thigh, that left shin goes parallel to the floor, that left thigh opens out, right shin goes on top of the left, taking yourself into the other side. Now again, if you're anything like me, maybe one side is slightly different than the other. You might need a little bit more propping on one side than the other, and that's perfectly fine. That's as it should be. Finding your edge, maybe flexing your feet, and then maybe you even add the hands to the shin or to the inner thighs, and take a moment and find that little cat-cow through the spine. In our yin practice, what we want to acknowledge is that yin itself doesn't stimulate prana. We have to find that little stimulation of prana so that the yin can circulate that. Coming back to the center, dropping the fingers down by the sides, becoming at peace to relax the feet. Again, if you have a hypermobility in the ankles or feet, maybe looking at building yourself up with those props. And then rolling the chin down to the chest. Just let it soften. Breathe. Full body breaths here. No restriction. No holding. And very slowly, that left ear over to the left shoulder if you'd like. Pause. And this time, maybe lift the right fingers off the floor and reach the right arm out. Flip the palm so it faces the wall behind you and push the hand back slightly. Maybe taking more of the chin towards that left shoulder than the ear. And slowly dropping that right hand down, roll the chin down to the chest, rolling the right ear over to the right shoulder. Find that pause. Breathe into the hips, maybe lifting those left fingers off the floor and pressing the left hand back behind you. Palm faces the wall behind you. Maybe taking more of the chin towards the shoulder than the ear. Reaching out through all 5 fingers of that left hand. And slowly dropping it down to the earth, roll the chin back down to the chest. If you'd like a little deeper edge through the neck, interlacing your fingers and gently placing them on the back of the head, drawing the elbows in, creating that brain cradle. Not pulling on the neck, just adding the added weight of the hands on the back of the head. Releasing the fingers from one another, slowly let them drip down and back onto the foot or the leg. And then maybe walking the fingers forward, the hips back, breathing into it. Remember, you can stay seated upright or against the wall. Deep edges here. Walking the hands back in, dropping that left hand down by your left hip, right arm reaches up, and just let that right arm hang overhead. As you breathe down through that right side, feel the expansion of the right ribs. Maybe you're dropping down onto a block or bolster with that left elbow. Coming back to the center line and dropping down through that right arm. Left arm peels up and just drapes over, creating big expansion. Relaxing through the joints. Eye gaze might close. Maybe it goes down towards that right hand or up towards the left. Again, choosing your own adventure here, being your own coach, bringing it back to the center line, dropping the fingers to the earth and rolling the chin down to the chest, both shoulders relax. And one last time, gently rolling the left ear over to the left shoulder. And traveling just in front, rolling the right ear over to the right shoulder. And then rolling that chin back down to your chest. Take your time. As you inhale, stack your head on top of your body. Reach down, releasing yourself from that square pose on the other side. Time to windshield wiper the legs from side to side. And then hooking your hamstrings, rolling yourself down again, nice and long, stretching the legs out. Taking the arms wide and the legs wide, coming into your pentacle pose. Feeling as if you were going to make maybe a snow angel on the floor. I like to think about it like you're a work of art. Maybe there's paint on the backs of your hands and on the outer edges of your feet. And maybe along the back of your body, and you're just making a picture here of a butterfly. Stay in this space, letting your eyes close, letting your eyelids be soft and easy. Beginning to come back into the practice of your breath. Feeling that your body knows how much oxygen it needs. It knows when it needs to take a deep inhale and a shallow inhale. And trusting it to do the right thing. Fueling the body with breath. If you'd like to take your Shavasana this way in pentacle pose, drop in. If you'd like to move into a more traditional Shavasana space, closing the legs in and arms in, or placing your bolster blanket under the knees, now is a great time to do so. And when you're ready, and only when you're ready, hug the knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a little rock from side to side. Break up any tension that might be there. And tip yourself over towards your right side, lying for a moment, that modified fetal position. Feel the stack of the hips and the shoulders. When you're ready, pressing your way back up to seated. Take your time. Come there slowly. Pressing your palms together to heart center, lifting your heart into your thumbs, dipping your chin down in acknowledgement of your practice today. Thank you for spending this time with me in your yin practice, for practicing that surrender, for listening to your inner coach. My name is Megan. It's been my great honor to guide you through. Namaste.